Good morning, students. In this class, we'll talk about framing, one of the design issues of data link layer. It is having different design issues like framing, error control, flow control. All these things are design issues of data link layer. And the first and foremost design issue of data link layer is framing. The process of framing is a process of receiving the packets from network layer and grouping them into a unit called as frame. So if a frame is designed, the data link layer should include what is the starting of the frame and where the frame is going to end. So this headers and tailors is added by the data link layer in order to identify which is the beginning of the frame and which is the end of the frame. So in the process of identifying a frame, data link layer make use of different methodologies to implement a framing concept. The first and foremost method is character count method that we have already seen in last class. In case of character count method, the frame itself contains one number and that number will indicate the length of the frame. So beginning of the frame, if there is a number called 50 characters are considered to be a frame. And next frame beginning with let us say 40, then 40 bits are considered as that frame. Likewise, character count is used, character count is used to determine the length of the frame. And if you know the count, then there is no need of uh, including end of the frame character, end of the frame key, because the length itself indicates where it is going to end. And this method comes under a technique called fixed size framing. There are two methods in which this framing can be implemented, that is fixed size framing and variable size framing. Character count method comes under fixed size framing. It is going to give length of the frame as a first unit, and based on that the system will understand how many number of bits are considered as part of this frame. So that we will see in next slide. So if you observe this one, this we have already explained in last class. Now here by using character count method we have sent 4 frames. We have sent 4 frames and each frame beginning with length of the frame. So let us say here it is 5, then frame 1 length is 5. Including this 5, it is going to count 5 bits and considered as frame 1. And immediately we got 5. Then again system will understand. So next 5 bits are comes under second frame. And if you observe third frame, the beginning is 8. Count is indicated. So 8 characters are counted and that is considered as frame 3. And similarly for frame 4. Likewise, count is given at the beginning of the frame. Based on that count, the system is capable of understanding where that frame is going to end. But the basic problem with this framing method is, if there is an error in count itself, while this data is traversing through the network medium, then there may be a possibilities of getting noise or errors in the middle, and that is going to change the content of the frame. Then what happens means, in this case, if you found one error in B diagram, if you see clearly, so first frame it is okay, 5 and 5 bits are taken and frame 1. But when you after first frame, instead of 5 it is modified to 7. Instead of 5 it is modified to 7 in the middle. Then what happens at receiver side means, receivers will understand 7 bits are considered to be part of the second frame, but actually 5 bits only part of the second frame from the sender side. But when it comes to receiver, because of the change in one bit, the entire interpretation is violated. Like we are not going to take the original data which we have sent. So what happens means, it is going to take 7 bits as second frame, and then after it is looking into the third frame length, but the third frame length is in this case 1, but originally third frame consisting of a length of 8. Likewise, a small mistake in the character count to place will change the entire data transfer unsuccessful. So we are not going to get original data back, because frames, once you successfully receive the frames, what is starting and what is ending, then only it is possible to send it back to the network layer and to the transport and application. Likewise, that data will go properly. If frames are not properly received at the receiver side end, then everything goes into the air. Like it is a waste of time, because the interpretations itself wrong because of such kind of errors. So this way framing method by using character count is having a problem of, if there is any change in the character count bit, the entire frame construction is failed. So this is about the first method to implement this framing concept, which comes under fixed size framing concept. Okay, and in next slide we will see variable size. So in case of variable size framing, there are two methods. One is character oriented protocol and the other is bit oriented protocol. Framing can be implemented in variable length framing with the help of character oriented protocol and bit oriented protocol, these two. So now in case of character oriented protocol, what happens means when data comes from the above layer, there should be a way to identify which is beginning and which is ending. So in character oriented protocol, the data transfer is taking place in the form of characters like bytes. Let us say if data link layer only transferring, if data link layer transferring text, so then every character is represented with a ASCII notation. So ASCII character size is 8 bits, so that a byte is used for representing a character. A byte is used for representing a character. Now what happens in this case is, entire frame is preceded and followed by a special character. Entire frame is preceded and followed by a special character called as flag, that we call as a flag. So what is the purpose of flag means, whenever it come across flag, what happens is the receiver will understand, okay, this is the beginning of the frame. Once it come across flag, then it is going to take remaining content as content of the frame, whenever it come across again one more frame, then it is going to decide, so one frame forming is over. Then the second flag, whatever we see here, it is indicating to here, that is end of the first frame and beginning of the second frame. This way flags are used to represent first byte, beginning of the frame and end of the frame. So in order to represent one frame, 2 bytes are required, 2 bytes. A character means byte here. So 1 byte here, and at the end one more byte is added. So this way it is easy to understand where we are beginning a frame. So we keep on reading the data. Whenever we come across one more flag, we understand the frame is over, frame forming is over. But always, if data link layer always transfers characters like alphabets or text data, then there is no problem, because we never take a character which is there in the alphabet set or character set. We take a special byte which is not part of the text, which is normally not part of the text, as a flag. So then there is no chance of appearance of this flag in the middle of the data. I repeat again. So in what way this flag is selected means, this flag is selected in such a way that this should not be repeated as part of this frame content. This should not be repeated as part of this frame content. If it is repeated, what happens means, the system will understand, okay, here starting of the frame. Let us say here itself we come across a flag like a byte, then this is considered as a frame. So now what happens in this case is, we should select flag in such a way that it should not be appear as part of the frame content, then only it is useful. But if data link layer transfers only text, then it is okay, we will take one more character which is not part of the text as a flag. But nowadays data link layer is not restricted to transfer only text. It can transfer video files, audio files, or graphic related files. If graphic related files are created, it is zeros and ones. It is considered into zeros and ones, right? So then that zeros and ones may contain this flag structure also. If you are only transferring text, what I do is, text is represented with 256 ASCII value. Okay, 256 ASCII characters are there. So I am not going to select flag from that 256 set. We will select from another range, so that may not be part of the text. But now we never predict how the audio and video and graphics are represented. Those are going to have different combination of zeros and ones. So definitely there may be a chance of occurring this flag as part of the data, occurring this flag as part of the data. So now you just try to understand this total, I refer it as a data of the frame. Now, if flag is not part of this data, then you can easily understand what is starting and what is ending. But if data itself contains flag like structure, flag like a byte, then system may misinterpret. It is going to start here. Whenever it come across flag in the middle, it is going to stop this one, and this is considered as a frame, but originally it is not. So in order to avoid this problem, the problem is, if flag bits appears as part of our data, how that system is going to recognize it is not end of the frame, it is the part of the data. How system is going to recognize that, we need to clarify. That is clarified with the help of a concept called byte stuffing. So flag is a byte, right? Flag is a byte, and one more flag is a byte. So now what we are trying to do in this byte stuffing method is, additional characters are inserted into the data. Additional bytes are inserted into the data in order to avoid this misinterpretation. So let me see this one in a diagrammatic way. See this one. Now here we are going to transfer the data. So now the data itself contains flag and one escape character. Now, as part of this byte stuffing, the concept is, whenever there is a flag as part of the data, it should be preceded by one special byte called as escape sequence or escape character. So now we have data which consisting of flag internally. It is part of the data. Don't confuse whatever the flag which is there in the yellow color border or yellow color filling color, that is beginning of the frame, ending of the frame. But unfortunately, if this flag structure is appeared as part of the data, then it should not stop reading up to this point. The receiver should not stop reading up to this point, because it is not the flag which is indicating end of the frame, it is the flag which is part of the data. So now in this case, as per byte stuffing concern, in byte stuffing method, what it is going to do is, it is going to examine the data. In the data, if there is flag like structure, then it is immediately preceded by escape sequence. Then it is sent to the receiver. Now whenever receiver reading the content, it is going to see first flag, okay, beginning of the frame, and continuously it is reading. Whenever it come across escape character, then next flag is never considered as end of the frame. It is considered as data only. It simply consider it, and it is keep on searching for the next flag. It is keep on searching for the next flag. When next flag is occurred, then it is going to identify it is end of the frame. So this way, escape character is stuffed into the data. That's the reason it is called as byte stuffing. Byte stuffing is done at a sender side. When sender is sending the data, if as part of the data, if flag is there, that flag is not indicating end of the frame, it is part of the data. In order to convey that message,